It's going up forever, Laura. Forever.
Right.
Imagine Bitcoin going from $60,000 to $320,000.
Okay, here's a $10 bill. This is garbage. This is garbage.
Bitcoin or no? Bitcoin.
GM and welcome back to the channel. In this video, we are ranking the best, the market leaders of each of these sectors, starting with AI, finishing off at the bottom with the best L2 in my view right about now. And these are my centralized exchange trading tokens. So in these categories, these are my main ones, my go-tos that I'm looking to trade during this uptick in the crypto market. Liquidity is improving. There's definitely a sentiment shift in crypto right now. And so you need to mark out the best in the categories because typically the leaders just continue to lead. So let's take a peek behind the curtain here and see which coins I've got as the market leads and the ones I'm looking to trade here in these coming months. If you enjoy the content, make sure you subscribe to the channel and drop me a GM in the comments down below. Let's go. So from the top, we're taking this first step at a time with AI. This is in alphabetical order, as you may have spotted. So in the AI category, I think this is a huge one in terms of potential growth. We've seen the likes of NVIDIA already popping off, and an easy secondary play to that is, of course, Render. Does very similar things to that of NVIDIA. It's all about decentralized GPU. And with the introduction of AI into absolutely everything in our day-to-day lives, searches, content, music, the demand for GPU use is going to be through the roof. So compute power really is the new oil out there. And something that connects the dots here is Render. Let's jump into the Render token here over on the Gecko. It's roughly just over $2 and around 18 cents at this point in time, under $1 billion in market cap. Now, bear in mind, NVIDIA is trading at over 1 trillion market cap, which is kind of incredible. This one, I think, has a lot of legs on it. When we have these kind of beta plays between stocks and crypto, it makes it very easy for normies entering the market to say, look, this has X market cap, the crypto equivalent is this. Well, this one should be priced a bit higher because the discrepancy is absolutely huge. In the last bull market, Render did get up to around $8 here. And now, as you can see, this kind of serpentine movement higher and higher, putting in higher highs and higher lows on the way here. This is one hell of a bullish chart pattern. Started off around the beginning of January when the crypto markets seem to have bottomed out. Now, this was actually a toss-up for me between Render and BitTensor, but the fact BitTensor is not on major exchanges, it's not easy for people to trade. And currently it's not the kind of token I would trade. It's more of a buy and hold long term. I didn't put it in here, but I'm very bullish on BitTensor nonetheless. We'll be doing videos on that in the future. But in terms of Render, the tokenomics make a lot of sense as well. And it's very easy for normies to understand. It says when a user uses the Render network, say they've got some form of application they need to run, or for a various service rendered out, maybe it's a 3D model or something. Well, when you pay in dollars, the equivalent value of Render, the token RNDR, is actually burned. So as this network gets adopted more and more usage comes to it, the more Render tokens will be burned over time. It says to use any of the Render services, you must have Render tokens and must spend them. This gives Render a very big use case and makes it crucial for the use of Render networks. So a circular token economy in there and also a major burning factor as well. Burning off supply, making it deflationary over time. I think this is a very bullish catalyst for Render. And of course, you would not be surprised to see this breaking new all-time highs into the next cycle, something you can't say of every single crypto out there. Now, second up, we have the BTC category. You can hold vanilla Bitcoin or you can get some beta exposure to the best performer out there, which is, of course, Stacks. A bit of a logo competition for you guys as well. Can you name these logos? That is the Stacks logo. What is Stacks? Well, Stacks is the Bitcoin L2 of choice right now. This is the one that's got the most traction. It is the early adopter to the industry. And we think about it, Bitcoin has the biggest market cap, so its L2 should be massive. Just like Ethereum has L2s, they're currently priced at a few $1 billion in market cap overall. You can see Stacks here is currently at $1 billion in market cap, but with Bitcoin being such a huge asset, this could capture a load of value. In the previous cycle, it did hit over $3 on a few wicks here. Currently, we're at around 80 cents or just below that right about now. Now, the major updates I did talk about in yesterday's video in terms of their use case coming up for SBTC. So this is quite an interesting one here. Stacks tweeted out, they asked their community what's the use case for Stacks SBTC that has the most potential. So quite a funny response here from Joe. Unlock borrowing for millions of millennials and Gen Z who hold crypto and have the audacity to want the American dream of owning a home. So SBTC is going to be a trustless two-way bridge of Bitcoin, get it onto the Stacks ecosystem, and then there's going to be DeFi applications built out. So you could deposit your SBTC and take a loan against it. Now that is a very interesting use case. You can defer capital gains by doing that. And of course you free up capital on your underlying asset. A lot of people have the mentality of Michael Saylor.
There is no second best.
We'll die with our keys or whatever. But if you can get some liquidity out of your Bitcoin at a healthy loan to value ratio, why the heck not? They also have the Nakamoto upgrade coming as well to make the network a lot more usable in terms of lowering fees and increasing block times. This will also help in terms of building out that flourishing DeFi ecosystem that they so desperately want. So this is the clear beta play to BTC. Market cap just $1 billion. I expect this to go a lot higher during this bull cycle, and therefore I'm down to trade this bad boy. Now let's move on to Trump's favorite term. It is of course China.
Let's say China.
And the China narrative, well, there is only one key player here. It's of course the Conflux network. It has both proof of work and proof of stake consensus running on it. It is quite highly inflationary as a result of that, but it is a very robust network and it's getting a lot of traction, especially in the Chinese market. But in terms of their business development, this is where they're really excelling right now. As you can see in the previous cycle, they had nothing really going for it. There was no hype around it, but it still hit $1.50. There has been inflation since then. So if you actually pull up the market cap, it does paint a bit of a different picture there. But I would suggest that this one easily pushes to some crazy valuations in the coming cycle. Current market cap is $500 million. Near protocol hits 12.5 at peak, and it hit over 10 billion on a few occasions. So that kind of valuation for an alt L1 that didn't have much going for it apart from huge VC backing and pumpamentals, well, I think Conflux has even better pumpamentals here. Now, one of the big news stories is of course Conflux and China Telecom with their blockchain-based SIM card being trialed out in Hong Kong. Hong Kong, the gateway to China here, with their regulatory easing up of things. So this is a B-SIM card. Some of the use cases they state on here: storage, digital identification, management of digital assets, maybe DeFi via your mobile, that kind of stuff. So this of course can open it up to a huge market out in China and Hong Kong. This makes me very bullish on the business development of Conflux and the fact they're a real contender here to be a genuine alt L1, or whether you want to call them an L2, out in the Asian markets. I think this is a huge one you can't be sleeping on. I'm actively trading this one and also accumulating Conflux and ecosystem tokens at this point in time. Let's move on to the DEX landscape. So this is one of the most overcrowded spaces. How many more DEXs do we actually need? But what is going to be the front runner, I think? Well, I actually think it's going to be Trader Joe this cycle. These guys are shipping like mad. Covered them during like last summer. Price was just in down only mode, even though they were bringing out all these cool new features, and they have not stopped. Current market cap is $137 million, 40 cents per Joe token. There's a bit of inflation to come there, but nothing too substantial. Pull this out on max, you can see it hit over $4 during the avalanche season last cycle, but this is now a very much multi-chain asset. It got run up to around 70 cents earlier in this year, and I think it's just a matter of time before it does pick up some more traction here. So some of the cool things they've built out as of late: auto pools. They've created the liquidity book as well. On top of the liquidity book, we saw innovations like Lotus being built on top, and with automated liquidity through these auto pools, it means that people can easily get involved with yield farming and being LPs on this kind of DEX without having to have huge amounts of underlying knowledge. That is one of the transitions to Uni v3 models that is very hard for normies to get involved with due to the fact you have to actively manage positions. Trader Joe has their own take on this, and they have these auto pools. These are set to democratize access to liquidity book by automating the process of liquidity balancing within liquidity book pools. The era of effortless one-click yield farming has arrived. So I think this gives it a real competitive edge over Uniswap. I know Uniswap is of course the market leader, but this is one of the competitors that's actually continuing to push Uniswap to innovate. I also love the fact they have Joe staking, XJoe I believe it is, that pays you out in USDC yield, which is a very nice thing to have. But they've also got layer 0 connections and partnerships as well. So the Joe token is an OFT, omnichain fungible token, and they're going to try and have this exchange and all its features across every single chain where the liquidity lies. So what we're seeing in the crypto markets is all these L2s being spun up. Apparently everyone wants to have an L2 now. This is going to fragment liquidity. So if you can have an omni-chain future and Trader Joe can really tap into this market, DEXs that can cover all the bases and provide deep liquidity no matter what chain you are on, those are the ones that are going to really win out. The DEXs that just lie on one singular chain, I do believe will lose market share and die out a slow death. Let's move on to LSDs and LSDFi. So this is a really interesting subject and a very hard one to actually make a stab at, picking a market leader, because there's so many different iterations of LSD and LSDFi out there. Many of the new LSDFi protocols have tokenomics which are not very good, let's be honest. They're almost predatory in the fact they maybe have like 10% of tokens circulating and 90% to come online. It means if you start buying them now, you are going to get diluted over time unless you are very actively trading them and trying to trade the unlocks. Anyway, one of the LSD protocols that is really under the radar here, and it is key to liquid staking derivatives, is SSV. That is the logo of SSV here. So SSV is DVT tech, Distributed Validator Technology, a bit of a mouthful. Market cap is 130 mil. This one had a huge run up earlier in the year to about 50 bucks, has retraced all the way to the lows at 16 odd, and now it's at around 18 bucks only. But this is one of the underlying pieces of tech that as the liquid staking market increases, as the amount of ETH staked increases, and this whole industry booms, this is one that has to grow along with it. So a bit of a TLDR, a primer on validator keys and why SSV's DVT solution is monumental. So a validator key is an integral part of a validator. It needs that key to certify messages and perform duties continuously. So validators always need to be online, signing messages, doing things to get you those staking yields. That means the keys need to be accessible at all times, signing messages each and every epoch. Even if you're a solo validator or a staking service, think Lido, Rocket Pool, etc., there's a problem here which is quite apparent. The key is in one place, lacking redundancy and fault tolerance. Think of geolocation risks of running a validator in certain areas. So SSV's tech splits the validator key into 4 parts, of which 3 need to be operational at any time to be performing duties. So say one of the 4 goes offline for whatever reason, it still functions. And so this will lead to better uptime, better network health, decentralizes Ethereum more, and prevents you from being slashed. Recent post here by Logano Nodes. We're live on Lido SSV testnet. These guys, Lido and SSV, have been working together for some time, and it seems the test network is continuing to on-go here. The integration of SSV network into the Lido protocol is a game changer, they say. SSV's innovative technology enables trustless staking through multi-operator validation, greatly reduces the risk of downtime while eliminating single validators as a point of failure. So these big protocols need to utilize SSV or other equivalents. Now, SSV is the only tradable token out there right now. Obel Network is another one to have your eyes on, but it doesn't have a tradable token. So if you want a slice of the pie with DVT, which I think will be an underpinning of ETH staking, well, SSV is the tradable token now. July 4th is a big day in the US and also a big day for SSV as they're moving towards mainnet. They have their mainnet AMA live on Twitter on the 4th of July. I will be tuning into that one, and I think it'll probably pump around that time. And as mainnet goes live, this token should go up. The SSV token is needed by stakers to get access to this validator tech. It makes sense that the network value of SSV will go up like crazy as well. We move on to the most hated sector of the crypto market, the meme coins. The number one meme coin and the only meme coin to have in your portfolio is, of course, the frog coin, Pepe. Let's jump into Pepe here. So top memes by market cap. You will see a great disparity between a load of these coins versus Pepe. 66% up over the last 7 days. Doge just 7%, Shiba Inu just 16%. It's doing absolute numbers around them, running rings around them, if you will. Dogecoin last cycle hit a market cap of over $88 billion. I know it was pumped by Elon Musk, but there was a few wicks up here. There's one here I can't quite tickle, to $69 billion. An absolutely hugely funny number there for a meme coin. And that is honestly my target for Pepe in this next bull market, to hit a market cap of $69 billion, as clearly the most funny outcomes typically do happen. That is like 100x away from here. I might sound like a madman, but I will be continuing to hold some of this for the long run and also trading it, because as soon as the market actually ticks up a bit, Pepe runs like crazy. Investors in Pepe only believe number go up. There's no kind of fundamentals behind this one. It's purely mimetic, the power of community, people laughing about it, all that good stuff. Like, you're not in any danger of the devs not doing something. There's no big fundamental catalyst to come that they could fail on. It's just a meme coin. The simplicity of it is the reason why these things can run like crazy. This is the Pepe market cap divided by the Doge market cap. At peak, Pepe got to 15% of the Doge market cap. Of course, we started to really grind lower and lower and lower. Now it's up to 6.5% of the Doge market cap only. So the question in your mind is, can the frog coin become the #1 meme over the next few years and the next cycle? I'm almost certain at this point it's going to flip SHIB. The question is, can it beat Doge, and how high will Doge go this cycle as well? So this could be providing some crazy gains for investors, and it's pretty simple. It's number go up tech. Now, last but not least, what is the leading L2 environment here, and why? Well, we have OP, optimism. I'm putting this down as #1 now. Previously, I think a lot of people were very bullish on Arbitrum, but Arbitrum seems to have dropped the ball on numerous occasions, especially with their first Arbitrum improvement proposal, #1, where it was like, guys, do a vote on this. But in fact, we've already decided exactly what we're going to do, so your vote is worth 0, which for any governance token is a very bad way to start. Jumping into optimism here, it's pumped very nicely as of late. So what happened recently was there was an unlock of tokens, and roughly they doubled the circulating supply of the OP token. It was around the 1st of June, which is just before this little cliff jump off here. And what's interesting with that is the fact that the token didn't dump all that much in terms of doubling supply. You think maybe the token would go down by a half, 50%, that would make sense, right? Well, the people who receive the tokens, investors, team, etc., they didn't really seem to be selling all that much. And we were hit with a double whammy of Bitcoin getting nuked by the SEC, etc. It went just below $1 on a wick, but it held around $1.05, $1.06, somewhere around there for quite some time, and recently has started to tick up. And it's one of the most bullish coins in terms of its BTC ratio out there right now. Market cap is still under 900 mil, fully diluted is around 6 billion. And if this is to be the leading L2 environment for ETH, this will go a lot higher. Now, really interesting business development work here. We've seen recently news from A16Z. They are a backer of OP. However, they are now starting their own roll-up chain called Maggie. So the OP stack being used by A16Z. This is of course something that should get eyebrows raised. That is no small feat. And this is a huge collective at A16Z. They're going to be producing something pretty cool on that chain. And then of course we have Coinbase also selecting OP and the OP stack to build out Base. So Optimism's business development work must be elite, or the tech must be better than that of Arbitrum. It's one of the two, or maybe both of those. So as in crypto, you always want to try and outperform Ethereum. Otherwise, you might as well just hold ETH. ETH provides very good returns each and every cycle. And so an ETH L2 environment that does gain traction is likely to be an easy bet for outperforming the underlying asset ETH overall. My thesis on this one, pretty simple. I think it will outperform ETH over the course of a cycle, but I will be trying to play this one with rotation swings as various catalysts unfold. I think we'll see a local top around the Base launch from Coinbase. So now's your opportunity, guys. Drop me a comment down below. Which one of these would you switch out? If you've got one to ditch and one to replace off the subs bench, drop me a comment down below. Maybe you don't like Render at all. Maybe you prefer BitTensor. That's pretty cool with me. What about the DEXs? Do you like Trader Joe or do you not? Do you want to switch that out for something else? Drop me your coin categories and the market leader you like the most in the comment section down below, and I will see you in the next one. Let's have some fun. Peace.